this week's episode of Nana on the Road, I will answer the 3 most commonly asked questions that I get while travelling, and I will give you a sneak peek into my slide on. Good morning. Well, I thought I'd better come inside for this video because it is looking like it's going to rain after all the heat we've had. So this week I want to tell you about the 3 most common questions I get asked. Firstly, how do I find work? Secondly is about my slide on and ute. And thirdly is, do I get lonely? So I'll go in depth in all of those, but just before I do, there is something I'd like to tell you. Okay, so now I have a YouTube channel, as you can see. But what I'd like to let you know is that I am not looking for sponsors. I am not sponsored and I never will be sponsored. This channel is purely for me to show you my trips around Australia, to talk to you about the things that you've asked about. I'm not interested in having to please a sponsor and watch what I say and watch what I do, because it's against their code of conduct. So this is going to be just me. I don't need the money from sponsorship, and I certainly won't be seeking it out. So now let's start getting on to the questions. One of the main questions I get asked is about working while travelling. I've had a few jobs over the years. The first year I didn't work at all, I just purely travelled. Then I did my RSA at 60. RSA is your responsible service of alcohol, so that I could work behind the bar in pubs. I got my first job on a Facebook page, working as a kitchen hand. I went in, I told them I had absolutely no experience because my background was admin and operations. So I'd never worked in hospitality. They didn't mind, so they put me on, taught me the ropes. I was working in the kitchen for a couple of weeks, and then they taught me how to pull a beer. So I then went to work in the bar. So in that job I worked between the kitchen and the bar. That was around the time of COVID. So COVID had just hit. Things were starting to get shut down shortly afterwards. Then they reopened and I was there for that whole period. They also gave me free accommodation on site. And when you work in pubs, a lot on the days you have shifts, meals are paid for, so that was a real bonus. I was able to save so much money while there. From there I went and worked in another pub. In that one I worked the bar, I worked kitchen hand, and I also cleaned the pub of a morning. So that was a little bit grotty some mornings, doing the toilets, but I would just go in, hose them out before I actually cleaned them. So that taught me another skill. From there I went and got a job online with my daughter. The business she worked for, they needed a part-time employee, so she put my name down. I got the job and I've been there ever since. So it's just on 2 years now. I started casual, then one of the ladies left for maternity leave, so I replaced her. Then when she come back, we job shared, so I became part-time, and I've been doing that ever since. So I can guarantee I'll have work there for the next, I don't know, possibly to the end of the year. Then who knows from there. It's a great job. I only do 3 days a week. It covers all my costs. It covers money in my savings, covers my regular bills. So I'm happy with that. It gives me 4 straight days to go and explore and move from site to site. I get asked, is it hard to find work when you're traveling? No, it's not. There are Facebook pages that have advertised for work. You can also put your ad on those pages if you're looking for work. I've seen jobs on there for machinery drivers during harvest season, no experience necessary. All most people want when you move out of the cities is someone who's keen to work and someone who will put in a full day's work. Other than that, they will train you in everything else. So when people say there's no work out there, there's plenty of work out there. Just stop being so damn fussy. I had one lady once say to me, oh, I was just lucky because she couldn't find a job. I said, what are you looking for? And she was very, very specific in what she wanted. Well, that's why she couldn't find a job. I'll take on anything, give it a go. Later this year, I'll be working on a sheep property. So that'll be a new experience. I've gone to work with my son on a dairy farm and cupped the cows. So that was something new for me. I love the cows. But yeah, so there's always something out there. If you want to work online, think outside the box. Think about what your skill level is and what skills you have. I've heard of people who do freelance work. There's a site called Fiverr where you can advertise on there to do data entry, to do typing, to do editing. So it's all about thinking outside the box and deciding what works for you and then going after it. Like, there's no guarantees you're going to get something, but at least you're giving it a go. Manual work, plenty of. You want to sit in an office environment, then it is a little bit harder, but it's doable. You've just got to make the decision that you're going to give it a go and research. So, but as for work out there, plenty of it. Go onto sites like Grey Nomad jobs. You don't have to be a Grey Nomad. There's plenty of jobs on there for everyone. Also, Rural and Remote Work Australia. They're both Facebook groups. There's plenty of other Facebook groups. Don't pay to go onto those Facebook groups that want you to pay a fee, because there are plenty of free ones that advertise for work. Don't expect to earn the top bucks. You're probably going to be a minimum wage earner, but you know what? You've cut down on all your bills, so does it really matter? You've got a lifestyle, so you're not working all the time. You're getting to see the country while you go, so be happy with the money you get, and as long as it's fair, then do a fair day's work. But yep, plenty of work out there. There's always work somewhere. Another common question I get asked about is my slide-on and ute. Firstly, the slide-on. Why did I choose a slide-on? Well, basically because although I had towed trailers, I didn't have any experience towing a caravan, and I had no confidence to tow a caravan. So they were eliminated straight away. Then there were motorhomes, and I pretty much just kept thinking, I know I will be free camping most of the time, so I didn't want to have to pack up every time I wanted to go and see something and then get back and find that the best camp spot's been taken. So then I thought, well, what's my other choices? Because I was a real novice. I went to the caravan camping shows and I saw slide-ons. Oh my goodness, I thought that fits the bill. First I looked at the ones that are attached to the car, that are like tiny little motorhomes, and I thought, wow, that's tiny, no thanks. Then I had a look at the separate slide-ons, the hard shell ones, because this was going to be my home. I did not want a pop top. I did not want whatever they're called that have the tents above them. no, it's not travel home, I can't remember the name of them. I wanted a hard shell because that's what I'd seen and that's what I liked. So I looked around, and honestly, most of them look cheap. They have really ugly interiors. They seemed quite squashy. But then I come across Summer Life RV at Cardiff in New South Wales. And I went up there and I had a look, and I thought, this is what I want. They do a top-notch product. It's first class manufacturing. They do it all on site. The inside is first class. It's just beautiful. I was able to change the plans a bit to suit me because it didn't have a sink or a shave cabinet in the bathroom. It only had a mirror, but that was something that I really wanted. I didn't want to have to clean my teeth at the kitchen sink, so they accommodated that. My other deal breaker was to have a separate shower. I did not want my shower over my toilet. They have that in their plans. So after talking to them for a bit, changing the plans a bit, we come up with something that suited me. Are there things I would change now? Yeah, of course. Knowing what I know now, I would get rid of a few things on here. TV aerial, don't need it, don't use it. If I watch TV, it's usually Netflix or something like that. The aircon, possibly get rid of that because I would have the whole roof covered in solar and I'd have bigger batteries. Other than that, there's not a whole lot I would change in it. So that's the slide on. So let's go and have a look at the inside of my slide on. One of the most popular questions I get asked is, what does the inside of my slide on look like? So let's go have a look. Okay, you come up the stairs, and up the top part is my bed area, and then moving down from there we have my table and chairs. This is where I also do my work. So then over in this corner is a fridge with a separate fridge drawer at the bottom for drinks, and then I have a TV which faces the bed, and then over to this side I have cupboards at the top. I took the microwave out because I mostly free camp, so it was kind of pointless. Then down below that I have my little baby kitchen and more storage under there. I've just recently had a diesel heater installed, so that is down there with the outlet there facing into the room. And then the piece de la resistance, inside the cupboard where the TV is my bathroom. So I have a vanity shave cabinet, I have a sink underneath, then towel rails on the back of the door, then my toilet, and over here is my separate shower. So that was a real deal breaker for me. I did not want a shower over the toilet, so I have a separate one, and that's my little slide on. So now you've had a look inside my tiny home, let's move on to my ute. Why did I convert it to a six-wheeler? Okay, I had gotten the highest GVM upgrade I could for my D-Max, which was up to 3.6 ton GVM. It wasn't enough. I have a dual fuel tank on my ute, so once I filled it with fuel and put in all the things that come with it, I didn't have enough weight left to even carry water, let alone the other things that I wanted to take with me. So I looked around and I thought about getting a small truck, and then I found that I could get my ute converted to a six-wheeler. It has a lazy axle on the back, but it took the GVM up to 4.495 tonne. So I'm just under that 4.5 where you need a light truck license. It was plenty. Because of the extra axle, I was able to extend the tray on my ute. Now, in saying that, I didn't want a new tray because I had that tray custom built. It's had the toolboxes in the sides. It has a trundle drawer in the back of it. I didn't want to have to go and do all that again. So I took it to a metal fabricator. He cut the tray down the middle and put an extension piece in the middle, so that I had a 3-meter tray instead of a 2-meter tray. So because of that, I had no more overhang on the back of my ute for the slide on, which, by the way, is quite legal, to have up to a 30 centimetre overhang past the back of your ute. But I just didn't want that because that meant there was weight sitting right at the back. So I was able to put that on there. There's no overhang now, and I was able to fit a 700ml box in there. So I could carry my generator in there, I could carry my swag in there, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I was still way under. I actually had my ute and slide on weighed this week. It comes in at 4.3 tonne, which just goes to show that a lot of slide-ons that are hard shells like mine are travelling illegally. They're way overweight, and most of them probably don't even know because they've never had it weighed. But that's another story, and that's really not my business. So let's get back to my ute. So anyway, I got it weighed. It comes in under, and that was with it full of water, full of petrol, every single thing in it that I take with me, and I still have 200 kilos to spare. And that included me as well. So if I choose in the future to have a dog, I can still have a dog and dog food and still be over 100 kilos underweight. So that made me feel really confident again. I do get it weighed about every 12 months, simply because I take things out, I put things in. I just want to make sure that I am still under my weight limit with some spare. So that's my ute. So let's... My 6-wheel conversion went through the process from looking like this all the way to looking like this. One of the things I get asked most often about is, do I get lonely? Short answer is no, I don't. I always have something to do or somebody to talk to. And apart from that, I don't mind my own company. So I'm happy to sit there and just watch nature and do nothing. I feel my life is busy enough. I actually sometimes joke with family on I don't know how I fitted everything in when I worked because I don't have time for full-time work. But yeah, so no, I don't get lonely. Some of the things that I do is I'll just sit outside and watch nature if that's what I feel like doing. I like to read books. Of a night time, if I'm not out at a campfire, I will watch Netflix or go on and write up some posts for Facebook, because when you have a page on Facebook you can schedule. So I do that, except for things that I want to put up on that day, but a lot of my posts are pre-scheduled. There's also going through my photos that I've taken that week and see what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. What else do I do? Oh, I like to build websites from time to time. So that's just a hobby of mine. So I will work on websites if that's what I feel like doing. I write poetry, which I really enjoy. I'll actually share a little poem with you shortly. And I do maintenance around my camper and ute. There's cleaning days. Sometimes I will build things that need to be built. Like recently I built a shelf to go into the back seat of my space cab so that it will hold my battery box and my inverter. That battery box is dedicated to the freezer that is in the back of my ute now, so that I don't have to shop every week. And the inverter, I can now use my air fryer when off grid without having to put the generator on. So I've made that box. I'll share that with you as well. That was just a little project that I did. So there's always something for me to do. I don't really get bored. Even if it's just doing nothing. The other thing that I do that I don't talk a lot about, because it's just, I don't know, I just don't I don't feel the need to tell people, is that I'm a currency trader. So sometimes through the day, sometimes at night, I'll have a look, see if there's any trades to put those on, and go from there. So that creates a small income for me as well. It's not huge at this stage, but I'm hoping before the end of this year that it will become my full-time employment. But that's just something else that I do. I make YouTube videos now, so that's something else that's going to keep me busy. So in answer to the question, no, I don't get bored, and I will share with you now a few of the things that I do while on the road. So enjoy. A new year has arrived. It's 2024. I wonder what this year will bring. I wonder what's in store. New adventures coming up, with travel to be had. New places to explore. My life is not too bad. I have my goals to work towards, a little at a time. If I don't achieve them all, it's not a bleeding crime. I'll make the most of this new year. I don't know what's to come. I'll make each day a special one. That's my rule of thumb. I have so much to see and do. I'll be a busy girl. It's going to be a year of fun. It's going to be a whirl. Happy New Year to one and all. I hope you have a ball. Make the most of what you have in 2024. This is me building a shelf to hold my battery and inverter in my space cab. Well, that's a little bit of insight into me and the questions that I get asked mostly. So that's a wrap for this week. I hope it's been informative for you. If you do want to ask me a question, just send me a message. I'm quite open to answering all questions. Yeah, so anyway, enjoy your week and I'll catch you on the next episode.